Habaragani Hotep Machio. I guess everybody knows my face. This is Professor James Small. And I'm just responding to some people who seem to get fun out of a video I did about 10 years ago. It's an hour long plus, but someone took 2 minutes of it where I'm being critical of my family, brothers and sisters, mainly brothers, from the continent of Africa who was recent arrival in a conflict with the merchants from here and the continent on 125th Street. And so they decide they don't want to watch the entire tape where I'm critical of African American, critical of Africa from the Caribbean, critical of people of color who come to America and decide that their best ally are white people rather than African people. And that conflict had to do with trying to get brothers from the different spaces to go to a meeting at the National Black Theater to try to form a merchant group that could stand up against the police coming and taking the materials, the clothing and tapes of the young African-American brothers who didn't have a merchant license. Well, most people out there didn't have it. But the police tend to pick on the young teenagers who was out there trying to make a living. And I was trying to bring some peace by criticizing everybody. Now, my criticism might have been a little harsh, but I was criticizing myself as well. But I want to make it clear to people in the world, I'm an African. When I say identify myself racially, I'm an African. African American is an ethnic identity that has to do with where I live. America is a geopolitical place. It's not a race. Africa is my race. Africa is my genesis. Africa is my culture. And I want to make it clear, I am not ADOS. Do not support them or their concept. I'm not FBA. Do not support them or their concept or their attack against African peoples or the attack against Pan-Africanism, which shows a lot of ignorance and misunderstanding. I'm an African. And if someone wants to clip that little 2 minutes to try to create a critical negative, let those same person look at the other 100 plus videos that I have on the YouTube. And there's a couple of thousand more videos if you want to really go looking, and you will find they're 100% pro-African, pro-freedom, pro-identity, pro-Pan-Africanism. So don't get me confused with yourself, because you're cowards and you're afraid to identify as Africans because you don't want the responsibility to fight for freedom. I'm not a coward. I'm 80 years old, and I've spent 60 plus of those 80 years in a day-to-day constant freedom fight on the part of my people. So cowards, if you want to be critical of our race, if you want to be, and anyone have a right to criticize ourselves and our race, we have a right to do that and try to be appropriate. And so I say to brothers and sisters, if my tone was inappropriate, I apologize to myself and to you for that. But people are not going to use me to support their backwards, ignorance point of views as regard African peoples and Pan-Africanism. If you think that you're going to get me as an ally, you got the wrong black man. I am an African, born an African, will die an African. I am not FBA. I am not ADOS. And no matter how long you've been in the Americas or anywhere in the world, we came here from Africa. And anyone who wants to foolishly give up the identity of their grandmothers and grandfathers and their great-parents, I feel sad for you, because slavery and colonialism have impacted you in a greater way than we even think. And yet all of us have been impacted by it. But we need to be clear. Don't try to misuse me, Professor James Small. I do not support your backwards, ignorance, foolish point of view about the family and the race. We are one African people. We will die as one African people, or we will live eternally as one African people. And so I just want to make this clear, because I'm sick of watching it regurgitate. And many of them don't understand they have become willing collaborators with the CIA. They've become willing collaborators with the American State Department. They've become willing collaborators with the Zionists that want to disunite African people and want to cause confusion in our ranks. But we are one people. We are one African. Pan-Africanism, which means the unification of people around things African, is my mantra and my philosophy. I am not socialist. I am not a Marxist. I have never been those other people's things. I was born and raised in the Christian church, and then I dumped that at 17. I got involved in the Muslim movement, became the heir to Malcolm X, was the imam of his Muslim Mosque, Inc., went to Mecca, became a Hajj, and then I realized this is not an African thing, and I cut it loose. And I've studied the history of Islam in West Africa. I'm very clear. We have our own sacred science traditions. We need to bring them back. We need to not apologize to anybody for being Africans. And if they want to stay in America and own America as their identity, I feel sorry for them. You're still my brothers and sisters. I understand that you have an issue and a problem, but stop attacking our race. Stop attacking our ancestors. Stop attacking the brothers and sisters that are recent to this country who are just trying to survive. That argument we had on 125th Street, I was overcritical, but if you watch the whole tape, I kicked African Americans in their butts too, trying to get some unity out there so they could form, and they did for a while, form a merchant coalition where they could hold their own against the police and the others on 125th Street. So if you're not out in the street with the people, you won't even have a clue what I'm talking about. But no, don't confuse me. I'm an African. I'm not caught up in your confusion about we were in America first. We were everywhere on the planet first before anybody. We were in China before the Asiatic type came into being. We were in Russia before the Mongolian type came into being. We were in Germany before the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths came out of the caves and the mountains. We were in Australia. We were in Cambodia. We were in Hawaii. We were in Central South America before any other people that can call themselves a race. So why are you so hung up on the fact that some of us may have stumbled up on North America before Columbus got here? Columbus just got here the other day. He's not significant or important to nothing. I do not measure or identify myself by any of the European genociders who people call colonizers, because this has been a war of genocide against us. We see that war still being extended today in Sudan. If you want to do something, let's see what we can do about ending the genocide in Sudan, or having the people who are causing it pay a price they don't want to pay. But that's my message. Let me be very clear. Don't confuse who I am. I'm not an ADOS. I'm not an FBA. I'm not someone who's confused with my identity. I am an African. And if you don't like that word, throw it out. I'm the original man. I'm the God man, which emanated out of the soil of Africa when it was first manifested by the cosmos itself. I'm a replica of the universe like you are. So you need to get your memory back. And the most authentic replica of the universe is in trouble in Sudan right now. The blackest of the black, the most melanated of the melanated, is in trouble. So let's fight for that. People who are caught up in this thing, they want reparations, and they don't want our brothers and sisters from this place to get any of the reparations of that place. The crime was committed not to the group of Africans brought to North America. That genocide was not committed just to those of us brought to the Caribbean. The genocide was committed to the entire African race. We were ripped from mothers, fathers, uncles, brothers, and sisters, and that pain and that cutting and that breaking and that destruction on them. If you want reparations and go beg your white man boss for something, I think they should pay for any and everything they did to me and to my race. But I don't put myself above my race. No group is above the race. Race is second only to the divine of the universe itself. Nothing else is above the race. Even family comes after the race. So let's be clear. I'm an African. You are not going to confuse that. You're not going to confuse that. And if you think anyone else could confuse that, go listen to the thousands and thousands of lectures I put all over social media and other parts of the world for decades. So I just wanted to get that out and make it clear. Stop playing. If you're a coward and you don't want to fight for freedom, so you don't want to identify as an African, then go to the coward's place. We'll come back and get you later. But right now, we have to fight for our freedom. True freedom is to restore your identity. If you talk about freedom and you don't know what your identity is, you are not free. I don't care how much money or degrees or whatever you've got. I'm a free African being living in the universe. Don't confuse it. Peace and blessings. Hotep. I'm done with that.